The Loft Surface tool has a significant advantage in that it can create a surface that extends to the boundaries of the sections. Let's look at an example of that. So I'm going to zoom into this one now. And the sections I'm interested in are the arcs, a whole series of arcs here, which will create the surface I need. Now, I'll show you what happens at the moment when I try and select everything here. I've got continuity back to position in both cases, and rebuild is off. So now if I drag my selection line across the arcs, I get quite a mishmash of lines. If I data point, what I get is a very confusing looking thing. And the reason for it is that I'm still showing the lines that were used for construction purposes. Now these are being selected too, which is obviously not what we want at all. So in this case, I must take these lines out, since they're superfluous. And of course, this is a fault of the designer, who should not have left those in there, the designer being me, of course. So let's start the tool again, and we'll drag across this time and see what happens. Now, before we go any further, note that the two end arcs, which are lying flat, do seem to have different arrow directions. I'm going to change this one so that at least it's the opposite of that, which would make some sense. So data point, and we have a decent looking surface. However, it's still a little lumpy in the middle here. The back of this is a little swayed. So what I'm going to do is look at this one, which is the same set of arcs, but I've added several more in the center portion, which will give us a little more continuity in the middle. So let's try this one now. This one is still out. Turn that one around. Data point. And something is a little wrong there. A strange looking object. Let's find out what's going on. Looks okay on there, but for some reason it's giving us a strange looking thing. Let me do a rotation to see if it's a problem. Yes, there's definitely a problem there. There's an offset going on there. So I would now have to go back and have a close look at the sections and the arrows. So let's see what I can do here. I'm going to go back to wireframe, undo the surface, and let's do a quick rotate to see what's going on here. Let's pick a nice little spot, rotate, and there's the problem. You see that arc which is out of line? Okay, let's stop it there, and let's do some repairs. This is the problem one. Let's do a move. I want to go into line with that. Press the O key to get the compass in that location, and then I can move down that way. I'm not going to measure, just going to do it by eye. Plop it into place right there. That should be fine. Scoot back to isometric view, and let's try this tool again. And drag across. This end is still out. That should do it. And now we have a reasonably straight back on this thing. And notice that the surface extends to the full outside location of each arc. Let's try another one here. I just want to show you how difficult things can be. Now I'm going to rotate this one. Stick it there. Rotate in that direction so we can see what's happening. It's a right angle section lines with a corner diagonal arc. Let's see what happens with this one. So now I'm going to select this line through here. I notice that this one is out, so I'm going to pick on that. Now these I have to select individually. So I'm going to hold down the Control key and select these across here. And make sure that one is fine. Yeah, looks okay. All right, that's data point. But it's a mess. And it's very difficult to make a surface out of such a convoluted set of profiles. So there are some distinct limitations. What you might do is work on this example and see if you can resurrect this thing and get a reasonable right-angled surface out of this.